Hey there, hey, and thank you for tuning in to this Thursday pod of Born to Be a Star. Today is another day and another opportunity for you to recognize your star power, for you to recognize and reflect on where you've been and where you're going to next on your stardom journey. You know, sometimes we can do whatever we put our minds to, and sometimes we can do things differently, and we can get excited about what the outcomes could possibly be. So every day is an opportunity for us to start off our days by saying to ourselves, yes, we can have a great day. It's another opportunity for us to start off our days by saying, yes, we can try something different. Yes, we can change our minds. Yes, we can change our favorite hair color. Yes, we can decide we want to change our hairstylist. Maybe we want to move to a different town. Maybe we want to buy a new car because we're tired of investing all of our money into something that's a hunk of junk. Maybe we want to learn how to play the violin, the flute, the cello, the guitar, the drums, the saxophone, or the piano. Maybe we want to get more familiar with pickleball or soccer, and we want to watch the game, or we want to learn more about it so we can play the game. Maybe you want to travel more and you want to see the world. Maybe you want to start a new relationship or start a new friendship. Maybe you want to learn to let things go and try new things. Whatever the case may be. Sewing, knitting, coloring, creating, learning how to play chess or poker. You should be finding a way to say to yourself, yes, I can do those things. Following the idea of saying, yes, you can do those things, we move into the stage of never giving up. How could you love yourself and anybody else and not persevere through difficulty? We're fully aware that life is difficult. Bad things happen to good people. And when you think everything is great, then the bottom and the floor falls out and you're right back where you started from. That's how life works sometimes, but that doesn't mean that we can't recognize the good and the bad, and that does not mean that we can't be the difference in the day. The doctor might give you bad news. The doctor might misdiagnose you. You might have had the worst experience you've ever had at a dentist. You might have had the worst experience you've ever had at a job, or with somebody that you met that you thought it was going to be a great relationship and it ended up being a horrible one. You might have had your worst experience at a grocery store. It can literally be anything. Somebody you love could be sick. It can be horrible things, right? Even though those things are happening, that does not mean that we give up. That means that we fight. Even if your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kid, you're sick, find a way to recover. Find a way to get better. Cancer isn't the end-all, be-all. Sometimes it is, but in other ways it might not be. Chemo might work. Whatever the case may be, we need to find a way to say, I'm never going to give up. We need to be reminded of John Cena showing up at these army bases around the world for the men and women that serve, for the Navy, the SEALs, the National Guard, the Reserve, the Air Force, those on the ground. We need to remember the message that he gives to those men and women that serve our country and all the countries around the world, to never give up, to fight, to persevere, to continue, to keep going. You have somebody here that's waiting for you to get back. You're not alone. He sends that message to them, and I really do think that message is very effective when he sends that. Following the idea of never giving up is the idea of why not today, because we understand that procrastination and indecisiveness is never the answer. Taking 5 years to do something isn't going to help you in 5 minutes, right? We only need 4 minutes to decipher that the damn dishwasher doesn't work, not 4 weeks. And you got to really make the time and effort to get things done and fix things that are broken. Because if you don't make the effort, then they'll be broken forever. Have you guys seen what hoarder houses look like? Dude, I was watching this cop show last night, and they went to save these pets, and the person was just, their whole house was full of crap, and it made me think about why not today. Clean your house, dude. Throw stuff out. Make your appointments. Schedule your life. Be 5 steps ahead. right? You have to plan effectively and do things the correct way, or you'll never get anything done. Organization is key. You don't want to not have anything done. Don't we want to be prepared when aliens come to do invasion of the body snatchers? It's likely they're here now, but don't we want to be prepared for that? None of this should be a shocker to us. We should want to get things done. Pushing ourselves to get things done is a great way for us to know that they're going to get done. There's no remotes. This is not a movie. There's no way to buy time. If we do not prioritize getting things done every day, will they get done? That's the idea behind Why Not Today, and we say it every day so we don't become those people. Moving on from Why Not Today to the main part of the conversation, or before we get to that, this Thursday edition of What We're Grateful For, I'm going to say what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to be an American, to live in a country that I've lived in my entire life, to never worry about how I'm going to survive, to understand that no matter what happens to me, I'm going to be okay. I'm grateful that whenever we have children, we get to raise our kids to live that same way, right? I'm grateful that God has given me the ability to be free here, so I can believe in whatever I want to, so I can prioritize any of these things that are important, whether it's going to church, whether it's participating in a community activity. I'm grateful for these things. Being an American is being free, and I'll never know what it's like to not be free. And I'm so grateful that I get to say that. I'm so grateful that if I want to at midnight, I can go to a 24-hour store and get some potato chips. Probably should be an apple. But if I wanted to, I could. I'm grateful that I can buy whatever I want and I can say whatever I want. And no one can condemn me for having an opinion. I'm grateful. Another thing that I'm grateful for today, the day before we get to Valentine's Day, I'm grateful that God led me to find my amazing husband, my best friend. Never in a million years did I think that we would be at this point in our marriage, on our love journey together, being a couple, being a married couple. I don't know, when I was younger, I had all these crazy experiences with these guys, and it just led me to think it's never going to happen for me. And little did I know, I would end up marrying my best friend. It's the best experience I've ever had in my life. Every day is such a reward. It's like it's Valentine's Day every day. Honestly, I say that Skip all the time. Like, every day is Valentine's for us. Because it is. It feels like every day is date night. Because it kind of is. Like, every time we get to spend time together, we're laughing and we're having a great fucking time. And I'm happy that I get to experience that with my husband. I'm happy that I don't have to worry about having a best friend, because he's my best friend, right? All the other people that are coming in my life for a reason or a season, he's always going to be a constant. And I'm happy that God brought the love that I needed into my life so many years ago. And I'm looking for the years ahead together. Becoming amazing parents, and then at some point, amazing grandparents. And living out our lives the way we set forth under God. And I'm just grateful that everything in my life led me to Him. That everything in my life leads me to saying that I'm free. And I hope that if you're American, if you get to take part in this amazing country, that you get to recognize your freedom too. So that's what I'm grateful for. I guess if we were doing an edition of The Matrix, I'd ask you, why is it they don't want you to see that? I'd ask you, why is it that the government wants to limit your ability to understand that you're free, and that they shouldn't be doing the things that they're doing? And they should have to answer. But we're not talking about that because this is not No Media Allowed. But if I was doing an episode, I'd say, why can't I be happy that I'm married to my best friend and I want to have a family and I want to live an American dream? Why can't I have an American dream? Why should I feel bad that me and my husband make a lot of money? Why? Or we make a decent amount of money together. Why should we feel bad about that? Why should we feel bad about being Catholic? Why should we feel bad about being excited about our culture of being American? Why are these things we should feel bad about? Why are people trying to ensure that we do feel bad and we do have opposition to things that there's nothing to have opposition with? Because they're rights that were guaranteed when we were born here under the law of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of the United States of America. See, those would be the questions that I would ask if this was an edition of red or blue, they're coming for you, the Matrix. So I guess I just asked that. How can they answer those questions? I don't really think they can. I think when we think about the Matrix and Mr. Smith, they're Mr. Smith, and we're Neo and Trinity, and we have to find a way to remove their lies so everybody can see what they've done. And then we have to fight them directly. Not like physically, like in the Matrix, but in every other way. Legislatively, we have to take away their seats. We have to remove them from the power. And my God, is it difficult removing them? They're showing up insanely. And I bring this up on the Matrix because the government is Mr. Smith. And we are Neo and we are Trinity. And the only way we can free ourselves from the Matrix, outside of taking out the fucking bug from the side of our necks in the back of the car with her, is to call it out. The division, the insanity, and the obscene stupidity. Why can't we be happy? Especially on Valentine's Day. Don't you want to be in love? I love being in love. I love loving. Happy Valentine's Day, man. Why can't we be happy? Just a thought. Moving on from the Matrix, let us get to the next part of the conversation, which is tanning. Like spray tanning. Do you guys know anything about spray tanning? I gotta be like completely honest with you. I've never done tanning. Like I've been to a tanning place. I've just never done it. I don't even really know where to start with that. Like, does anybody have advice? I don't know. Is that pathetic that I can't tell you about tanning? Like, I just don't think. I've done spray tan before where you spray the tan on or you put the tan lotion on at the beach. But, like, it's never, like, been a different color. Like, I've never done it to make myself look darker. I've never done, like, a spray, like, tanning booth. Like, is there a difference between the spray and the booth? Because I think that, like, tanning is bad for your skin and that can give you, like, skin cancer. So, what's the effect of spray tanning? Is it less of an ailment to your body? I don't know. What do you guys think about spray tans? Do you think that's something you'd want to try? I don't really know how to try that. I think I need to do more investigations, but I thought I'd bring it up and ask you guys if you've ever tried spray tan. Hair recovery. So I found this website when I was on Pinterest, like I always find, and I'm tempted to get this shampoo. But the shampoo is like $67. So like it's called Miori. It helps your hair grow, and it helps. I'm hoping that it's going to help with recovery for things that are not helping your hair grow nice. So that's my hope. But I don't know if I want to spend $70 a month on shampoo. Like, as far as hair recovery goes, I think you need to be conditioning your hair and washing your hair and being effective with products that are helping it grow. I don't think you should put a lot of chemicals in your hair all the time. I don't I don't really put a lot of things in my hair. I do like a deep conditioner and I wash it, and I wash it a couple times a week. But I'm not bleaching my hair all the time. I learned my lesson from putting chemicals in my hair. Not good. So, I'd say hair recovery is dependent on what kind of recovery you want to give to your hair. I think less is better. The less stuff you put in it, the better off you're going to be. And I know a lot of us want to try all this stuff on our hair and we see if it's going to give us the effect we want. But is that going to affect it in the wrong way after? You got to be really careful with your hair because you got one set of it and you don't want to go bald. Like, be careful. Hair care means you got to know what works and you have to know what doesn't work. And don't spend $1 billion. It's not worth it. Be careful with whose hands you let in your hair and what products you put on it. Why is the fake new pretty? So when I say that, what do you think I'm talking about? When I say why is the fake new pretty, why are they pretending like new things are cool? Like the new style that's out. And I'm not a fan of it. I don't really get it. It's kind of the same thing we've already seen before, and they're trying to put a name on it, a new name on it, and pretend like it's new, and it's not. But that's just my observation. But why is it when these companies and they do like their what's it called? Their ads, they try to sell us something that might not be what it is. And maybe I'm approaching this differently because I hate ads and I hate commercials and I don't like somebody selling me something. If I want something, I know what I want and I buy it. I don't need you to sell me anything. Like, I know I like Chanel. I know I'm going to go get Chance or Mademoiselle. Those are my perfumes, right? Escada, right? There's specific things I like to wear. I know what I like to smell like. Dior. But as far as commercials go, they try to sell you new shit that's like cheap or like it doesn't have the same effect. And they're like, oh, this is so great. Or like on like social media, like, oh, you need to try this. Do we really need to try it? How great is it? How many people have actually given like an actual like it has to be that we look at this and we just ask, why are they pretending like this pretty? Like, do you think it's pretty? Do you like it? Is it effective to you? If you don't want it, I'd say don't buy it. It's just that you could decide what you like and what you don't like. Are toasters still cool? I have a toaster oven, so I don't know if I need a toaster. But if you didn't have a toaster oven, would you want a toaster? Are those still cool? I mean, I don't really even eat bread like that. Maybe. Ski season. I think it's a horrible ski season because it hasn't really snowed. It's not really that cold. And I'm not thinking they're having a great time. Bringing the energy. Because if you're not bringing the energy, you're not bringing energy. How can you host a party and not be dancing? How can you podcast and not have any energy? How can you read a book and just read it? Like, I like to imagine what's happening in a story if I'm reading a book. I like to bring energy to any environment I'm in, whether I'm at work, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm with my husband, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm playing with my nephew or my nieces or whatever. I like to bring energy and life into the situation, because if not, then I'm forced to be around just whatever the situation is. And who wants to just be around whatever the situation is? Some situations are dull, and if there's no energy there, then it's the opposite of energy, which is non-energy. Sometimes energy is a great thing. And in other cases, sometimes energy is insane. We could talk about all the ways energy is insane, but we're not going to do that. Learning from before, meaning if something has happened to you and you've dealt with a situation multiple times and it hasn't worked, you have to learn from the experience, whether it was a failure or it was a succession and you succeeded, to do it again or not do it again, right? If you worked at a job and you continue to stay in the same field, and every time you go to a different company within that field and it fails. Let me give you an example. You work at a library and you started at one library and then you move to another one and then you go to another one and you've worked at 5 libraries and every experience you have at a library sucks. Maybe you shouldn't work at a library. I'll give you another example. You work in the restaurant business and you're a hostess, or you work on the line, or a line cook, and every time you get a job, you started off at Chili's, then you went to Olive Garden, then you went to some local restaurant, then you went to a pizzeria, then you went to some French place, and every time you go to a new restaurant, it doesn't work. So maybe you shouldn't work in restaurants, or maybe you should work differently in restaurants. Maybe you should approach working differently and learn from lessons, and not just a job, but maybe like a relationship. Maybe every time you look at a friendship, you have to look at how does the friendship or the relationship work. What have you done in the relationship to make it succeed or fail? What has worked? What has not worked? We need to learn from the past so we can have a wonderful future. Moving on from the main part of the conversation, let us get to watching things. So it is Thursday, and I still haven't watched the latest episode of Kitchen Nightmares, but I'm probably going to do that at some point today. Will Trent, I'm considering watching that, but I don't know. I think there's a new episode of Paradise. We'll find out. I was considering Will Trent. My mom's watching that. I think she likes it. Out There looks okay. Moving, that sounds interesting. Rescue High Surf. It's like one of those shows where they live on like an island and they're saving people from fires and like the weather and stuff like in the area. Sort of like the 911 shows. I was considering trying it. The Floor, that's like an action-packed game show, and I'm not even really sure how that show works. I saw a commercial for it. That's the reason I'm talking about it. Have you guys seen that too? Maybe. Married at First Night, Honeymoon Island. I'm thinking that's a good show because like they're in the second stage of the Married at First Sight, so we get to see some of what's happening. Surreal Estate. And finally, Lego Masters. Have you guys seen that? Or what about The Challenge? There's like so many seasons of The Challenge. I started watching season 1 and now I can't figure out how to get back into season 1. I guess we're going to have to figure that out. Anyways, that's what we're watching right now. There's a bunch of things on, and you just got to figure out which one of the million things on you want to look at. Following watching things, let's get to eating things. No idea what we're having for dinner tonight. For lunch today, I had a shake. It was pretty great. But maybe we'll order something out. Maybe we'll go to dinner. Maybe we'll figure it out. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so we're going to lunch and dinner for that. But I'm really excited about eventually getting to Vala and changing the way I eat. I think I'm starting this Medi weight loss thing, and I think I'm really going to consider going into vegan, less carb, more fat, and just really doing things like just completely getting rid of all of it. I really just think I'm at that point. But I really don't have anything to get rid of in the pantry or the cabinets because I don't have anything. So like, this is probably going to be very easy. What is $1 million pasta dough? Because I see that all the time. And is the $1 million pasta like the sauce? Is it the pasta? Is it the meat? Or is it whatever is on it as an addition, what makes it $1 million? Are we adding something into the sauce that we're not talking about? Is it hot sauce? What is it? Is it a different type of tomato? What is making it so good that it's $1 million? Like, they say like all these things are $1 million. All these TikTok videos, all these food videos, they're always like $1 million pasta. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I could make that too. And I'm not calling it that. I don't know. Cherry cheesecake, I would eat that. Cookie cups. I'm not sure what that is, but I saw a video for it and I'm willing to try it. Crispy chili salt and pepper wings. Doesn't that sound like a good flavor? Juicy pineapple glazed chicken. Possibly. And finally, protein shakes. Well, I had one today for lunch and it was pretty great. My friends, thank you for tuning in to this Thursday edition of Born to Be a Star. Please remember that you, me, us, they, and them. Not only are we going to save the United States of America from the shitty Democratic Party and all the rhinos and dinos that exist trying to bankrupt America, but we're also going to protect it from its hat called Canada, which is a moron. And we're going to fix the rest of the world that clearly needs help. We're going to save the people of the world and the planet, and we're all going to unite to get together as the gray stars that we are, and we're going to change the world together. We are the beginning, the middle, and the end, omnipresent like Jesus Christ. We've been here before, we've seen everything before, and we'll do it again. We are going to change the entire universe. Because we are like Jesus. We are the light in the darkness, and the darkness cannot defeat the light because we're too big, and it's not big enough to stop us. Recognize your light in the darkness, and don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. And I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. America, America, I love you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.